Андрюха, вызывай скорую.
Не сильнее. Я от него не подходил еще, блядь.
Ситуация очень сложная у нас. Раненая женщина. Также водитель сейчас повез ребенка с отцом в клинику. Здесь недалеко больница. Ждем приезда скорой помощи. Этот квадрат украинские боевики продолжают массированно атаковать. Вот прямо сейчас слышны разрывы.
Это мальчик лежал.
Не, он вот летит.
Да, сейчас. Ранение руки, ребят, вытягиваем.
Принеси на стену.
Рука разрывные, ну, сейчас осколочные.
Хотела вызвать 104.
Носилки, давайте он носилочки быстро, я бежал.
Подождите, дверь надо закрыть.
Да ничего с вашей дверью не случится.
Нет, дверь надо. Тамара Федоровна.
Телефон
возьмите.
Вот там ключ.
Возьмите ваш телефон. Возьмите телефон. Все, берите.
Я закрою.
И ключи заберите.
Давай, ножки, давай. Давай в машину и отъезжаем.
Пожалуйста, закройте дверь. Ключи вот там лежат на...
Первый проходишь.
На этом.
Как бы лестницу делаем. Ступень далеко, поп. Саш, возьми. Я сейчас возьму данные по поводу комитета партии.
America has run out of artillery shells to deliver to Ukraine, and Admiral Kirby, the spokesperson for the American National Security Council, acknowledges we've sent cluster bombs in their place.
What they really need more than anything is artillery. And that's why the president made a difficult decision to provide cluster munitions as a bridging solution as we build up our production capacity of normal, conventional artillery rounds.
Is American military power, Alistair Crook, largely a myth now exposed?
Totally exposed. It has been exposed really cruelly on the ground in Ukraine. The failure of weapon systems that were promised to be game changers, the failure actually of doctrine, of actually operating, sending off the Ukrainians in tanks into minefields. And what we heard about the lack of ammunition shows, people go into this and they never think through. We don't go to the next stage. Has anyone asked the question, what happens if the Russians defeat us on the field in Ukraine? What will be the impact on the West? I doubt it. They just go in with a great deal of enthusiasm and a narrative. And the narrative is everything. Oh, we're the West. We can't possibly lose.
The real story starts in 2014. This is a war that is proceeding in a very cataclysmic trajectory. The answer to your question about how we got in this war goes back a long way, but I would say that the real story starts in 2014 when the U.S. government, and particularly the neocons in the White House and elsewhere, participated and supported the violent overthrow, a coup d'etat against the democratically elected government of the Ukraine and put in a very, very anti-Russian government. This prompted the Russians, who then believed that the U.S. Navy was now going to be invited into the Black Sea to have a port at Crimea. It prompted the Russians to preemptively invade Crimea. At the same time, the government that came into the Ukraine began enacting a series of laws that turned the Russian populations of the Donbas region into second-class citizens. They illegalized essentially their culture, their language, and they began ultimately killing them. They killed 14,000 of them, and it prompted a civil war in the country. And the Russian response, which it was illegal, I have no sympathy or toward Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is a gangster and he's a thug, but his response in the Donbass was not irrational.